Chapter 7, A Place to be Safe. The first thing we have to do now, Merrick said, is to make sure that they cannot follow us. They must know by now that we checked out. So we have maybe 20 to 30 minutes to remove these tracking devices before they get a vehicle out to shadow us. He drove towards Ocho Rios, coming off the main road to park under the White River Bridge by the Rafters village. He parked on the sandy riverbank by the handful of taxis and tour buses with tourists who were eager for a relaxing rafting trip along the river or to relax by the riverside. If it was a different day, Summa would have been eager to drive along the side of the river to the Rafters Landing, which is upstream, and board on one of the colorfully decorated rafts and be tranquilly transported through the forested landscape, floating on the river known for its white bed of rocky stones, and Merrick would be by her side. Merrick opened the car trunk, making like he was checking the tires, while he was using his device to search for any additional trackers that he knew must be there. He found one tucked within a crevice of the bumper. Now he had 3 trackers. The cartel had been thorough. One had been found in his backpack, another in Summer's travel bag, and one on the SUV. He dropped a tracker in a garbage bin, a second one he threw in the wagon of a passing open-back truck, and a third he dropped on a raft that was being rowed back upstream to wait on visitors. The unsuspecting raftsmen did not see it. Merrick returned to the car, and instead of going back to the main road, he headed further inland. What's the plan now, Merrick? They know the car, Summa asked, but she was confident that Merrick had already thought of that. We're going to stay on these country roads till we have cleared Ocho Rios. Then I will take us to a safe place. Well, we have done a villa and a hotel, so where next? Has my father booked us to stay? He can't know. Summa snapped her head around. This was now too much. Her ultimate safety bulwark was her father. And now Merrick was going to take her beyond his protective care. The cartel has infiltrated his office. They found us at Barracuda and they found us at Orecabessa Hotel. When we have arrived, we can call him on the dumb phone just to let him know that we are safe. Summa agreed and silently nodded. Merrick drove through the winding hillside communities of Exchange, Eltham, Content Garden, Great Pond, and others before emerging at Breadnut Hill to rejoin the main road. They had not been followed, but who knew if a sentry was at every junction along the main road? He drove all the way to Walker's Wood and then turned back and turned into Colgate, pressing into the remote hinterland to finally arrive at an unpaved and steep road that would have damaged a low chassis vehicle. Huge trees and dense woodland bordered the road, and they were uncomfortably moving at perhaps 3 miles an hour. The road leveled to end at a gate. Merrick had a remote control in his hand and pressed it, and the gate swung open silently to reveal a graded road that had undulating fields on either side. Summer was enjoying the slow-moving scenery as the car meandered along this private country road. Then Summer screamed as 2 paws hit the passenger window beside her, and she was looking down into the jaws of an angry, barking dog. Another was beside it. The car rocked, and she saw that yet another had jumped on the bonnet of the car and was snarling at them through the windshield. All around them, muscular dogs of various breeds surrounded the car, baying and agitated. Summer felt her anxiety rise, and Merrick held her hand and calmly said, "It's okay. You are safe. It's okay." He stopped the car, but the dogs continued to bay and snarl and sometimes jump up at the car windows. Then, like a wink, together they ran off and sat about 5 car lengths away, alert, at the front of a white concrete building that was positioned in front of a low white cliff. Merrick turned off the engine and opened the door. "What are you doing?" Summer squeaked, still terrified. "Trust me, they won't trouble us." He took out their bags and came around to her side of the car and coaxed her to come out. Dogs, perhaps a dozen of them, were still sitting with heads high and ears alert. They would have to walk past them. Summer started to cry and held back. I can't. They're going to attack me. No, they can smell my fear, right? He did not answer, but held her hand and insisted that she walk past the canines, none of which moved. The couple walked some distance to a door which opened easily under his hand, and they stepped inside a warehouse-type building. In a glance, she saw a small tractor, an off-road vehicle, farm tools, a carpenter's workbench, and tool rack, sacks, a bicycle and bicycle parts, pieces of zinc and plywood and lumber. Summer felt her legs buckle under her, but Merrick tensed to hold her up, and then he drew her into his arms. They remained like this for a few seconds until her heart slowed down. When it did, she became conscious of his heartbeat beating steadily centimeters away from her, separated by the fabric of their clothing and the sweat on their skins. You don't like dogs? Merrick murmured into her hair, his breathing reaching to her ears, tickling them. She nestled closer to him. I grew up with dogs, but these are huge and vicious, Summer said, and realized that she had curled her arm around his waist. They make me afraid. You are safe right here, he said. And despite the anxiety she had experienced moments before, she now felt a thrill because she was leaning on his frame. Still holding her close, he walked her along a corridor, and at the end of that was an open doorway, and then they were in a colonnade that surrounded a skylit atrium with a fish pond at its central focal point. Welcome to my home, he said.